Chapter 2, Section 2, Solving Equations by Multiplying or Dividing. Our objective is to solve one-step equations in one variable by using multiplication or division. So in example 1, negative 4 is equal to k divided by negative 5. So we want to get k by itself. What's with the k? A negative 5. What are they doing? It's dividing. So what's the opposite of dividing by negative 5? It's to multiply by the reciprocal, negative 5 over 1. Our negative 5's cancel out to become 1, and we're left with k times 1, which is k. And negative 5 times negative 4 is a positive 20 over 1. So k equals 20. What is with the m to 3? What is it doing? It's dividing. The opposite of dividing by 3 is to multiply by 3 over 1, the reciprocal. So multiply by 3 over 1, because we do have a 1 here. That's where the 1 comes from. Our 3's become 1. 1 times m is m. And 3 times 1.5 is 4.5. 4.5 over 1, which is just 4.5. You don't have to write over the 1. I just want you to see what I've done and why this had gone away. Example 2, 7 times x equals 56. So what's with the x? It's a 7. What are they doing? Multiplying. What's the opposite of multiplying? It is dividing. So I'll divide the left side by 7, which means I have to divide the right side by 7. So my 7's cancel to make 1. 1 times x is x. 56 divided by 7 is 8. 13 is equal to negative 2w. What is with the w? Negative 2. What are they doing? Multiplying. How do I get the negative 2 to go away? Instead of multiply by negative 2, I have to divide by negative 2. 13 divided by negative 2 will be a negative 6.5 equal w. Let's go ahead and check these two answers. So if I want to check to see if 8 is correct, I simply 7 parentheses, substitute in my 8 is equal to 56. 7 times 8 is 56. 56 is equal to 56, so I know I have the right answer here. Do the same thing with this one. 13 is equal to negative 2. Substitute in negative 6.5. So 13 will equal negative times negative is a positive. And then 6.5 times 2, carry the 1. I have one decimal, so 13. 13 is equal to 13. So I have checked it and know that it is correct. In example 3, 5/9 times v is equal to 35. Well, what's with the v? It's 5/9. What is the 5/9 doing to the v? It's multiplying. So how can I move it from one side to the other? There's two ways, really. I could multiply by 9 to make the 9's go away, and then I could divide by 5 to make the 5 go away. Or I could simply do it in one step, and I could multiply by the reciprocal, which is the way I'm going to show you in the homework, or here in the examples. That way, 5 cancels with 5 to make 1. 9 cancels with 9 to make 1. So now I have 1 times v is v. And I can say that 5 goes into 5 once and into 35 7 times. So now I have 7 times 9 is 63. 1 times 1 is 1. So I get v equals 63. This is a little different way of looking at it, just so it looks like the other one. I can rewrite it as 5/2 is equal to 4/3. Why? I can just take the 4/3 out front as the coefficient. So if I ask myself the same questions, what's with the y? It's 4/3. What are they doing? They're multiplying. I want to get rid of 4/3, so I'm going to multiply by 3/4. I could also divide by 4/3. If I did that, we'll try that in a minute, and I'll show you how it looks. So multiplying by the reciprocal on both sides, that means 3's become 1, 4's become 1. 1 divided by 1 is 1. So we get y on the right side. I can't cross-reduce any, so I get 15 over 8. And we are going to leave it as an improper fraction right now, so y is equal to 15/8. Now, if I was to say 4/3 is multiplying times y, and the opposite of multiplying is to divide by 4/3, it comes out to be the same answer because that becomes 1. Anything divided by itself is itself. 5/2 divided by 4/3 means I have to take 5/2 and multiply by the reciprocal of what I'm dividing by, so 3/4. It looks very similar to this one, correct? So we get 15 over 8 equals y. Change it around to standard form, 15 over 8. Y equals 15 over 8. Example 4 says, the distance in miles from the airport that a plane should begin descending, divided by 3, equals the plane's height above the ground in thousands of feet. Plenty of things that are important there. We'll get to it. If a plane is 10,000 feet above the ground, write and solve an equation to find the distance at which the pilot should begin descending. So let's go back to sentence 1. The distance in miles from the airport that a plane should begin descending, divided by 3, equals the plane's height in thousands of feet. Okay. So if a plane is 10,000 feet above the ground, write and solve an equation to find the distance at which the pilot should begin descending. So now I want to solve this. We do have to make sure that we remember that height, the h here, is in thousands of feet. So yes, h is 10,000, but we want it to be in thousands of feet. So we're going to have d over 3. What they're saying here is that they have taken into account the thousands of feet, and they have moved essentially our decimal over so that we can say 10 thousands of feet. Okay. So we have d over 3 is equal to 10. Multiply, since we're dividing by 3, we're going to multiply by 3 on both sides, and we get d is equal to 30. 30 what? What are we talking about here? It asked, let's see, solve an equation to find the distance at which the pilot should begin descending. So d was in miles. So we should start descending 30 miles from our destination. Our homework is on page 87, 21 through 44, 48 through 54 even, 57, 61 through 64, 77 through 81. So starting with 21, we have x over 2 is equal to 12. What is with the x? It is a 2. What are they doing? They're dividing. What's the opposite of dividing? It is to multiply. So 2's cross out to become 1. Cross divide, cross reduce, I should say. So now we're left with x equals 12 times 2 is 24. Let's see, it wants us to check our answer, so I will put that back into my x. So I have 24 divided by 2 equals 12. Well, 24 divided by 2 is 12 equals 12. So I do have the right answer. You do need to check your answers on the first 8 problems. So check on the first 8 problems.